Meet Christopher Liddy, inventor. He's 7 years old.
What I came up with is an invention. The tiles on the roof will keep it cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter, because you never want to have a freezing house. You never want to have a boiling house. It looks black, doesn't it? And then, when you rotate it, this is the sun's summer view. This is sun's winter view. So, just say you're the sun, you're seeing black. And so, black absorbs heat. And so, it goes in your house and keeps it warmer. But when you do it this way, with the white reflects heat and light. So, when you're the sun, your heat and light is reflecting off all over like this. So it keeps the house cooler. Here is the winter sun, and here's its rays.
When you see something like what you see with Christopher, that is a child who has come up with really remarkable ideas, transformational ideas, something special has happened, and some part of that specialness is that by his nature he was given the capabilities to do these things.
I think my goal would be to design things that would not only helpful around chores and stuff like that, but also help the world, like peace. As for one thing, help stop destruction of the rainforests, stop guns, stop all warfare. White, black. So.
Christopher was a very demanding child. We couldn't believe it. Ruth and I would look at each other in the evening and say, is this what parenting is all about? You know, no one ever prepared us for this experience. Around 9 months, he began to talk. By the time he was 18 months, he was completely conversational, had full command of the language, and it began to become clear to us that we might have an exceptional child on our hands. He has been, right from the very beginning, demanding vast quantities of information. We used to think of him as a sponge, or as a vacuum for information, for knowledge.
Well, I got an idea. It's sneaky. Very sneaky.
What is it?
In a case like Christopher's, where it seems as if his movement in the area of logical reasoning so outdistances everything else, it's off the charts, really. So I think at the very least, an extreme case, a case that doesn't seem to fit, raises questions about the theory of development that you've got that says that everything should be marching along more or less in sync.
I know exactly what you mean.
Sometimes things don't march along in sync, and it's an illusion that the appearance of things is all synchronous. And you only know that when you see one that really is remarkably different from that.
Different or not, Christopher is still only 7 years old and still developing. He and his classmates have just passed through another important milestone. They now have the basic concept of how they fit into the world around them.
One of the consequences of this new ability to relate concepts is that now the child, whose sense of self has been growing continuously since the second birthday, is able to relate the concept of self, which is abstract, to the concept of events in the outside world. Once you can do that, then you can begin to think about abstract events that might happen to you. 4-year-olds are afraid of simple things, darkness, ghosts, and big dogs. But the abstract fears occur after age 6. Now children, for the first time, will tell their mothers they're afraid of things like being kidnapped, nuclear war.
Perhaps AIDS. That's basically when cancer. People getting murdered and stuff. I get scared when I go to bed. Someone's gonna murder me. Well, I'm afraid of nuclear war because, well, I hear stuff on the news about people bombing other places. It's just I get scared when I hear the hostages being called on the plane because my brother's coming home in 2 days from France. Don't have to come back on a plane.
Now that the child of 6 or 7 years of age has the maturity, the cognitive maturity, to relate an abstract concept of self to abstract events in the world, then you can see that the child would appear to the parents to be responsible. And so it's not an accident that the Catholic Church recognizes now the child is old enough to confess, that the English common law would say now a child's responsible for a crime, and that parents in third world villages who don't know the ages of all their children would recognize this child seems responsible now, and so let a boy take care of a cow all day out in the pasture and let a 7-year-old girl take care of a younger sister. There is a profound shift due to the maturing of the brain in a child who lives in a real world, which leads to these cognitive changes.
From fertilized egg to growing child, from birth and migration of neurons to the development of personality, the changes are universal. Slowly, inevitably, in stages that are common to every society and culture, the child emerges from the cocoon of womb and family into the outside world. And a mind appears, so similar to our own and yet unique.
I'm always learning more about the mechanisms, the tricks, the processes of mind. I remember the moment when I was behind the one-way vision screen about 10 or 12 years ago, when we saw for the first time the child play with a flawed toy. We did not anticipate that. That's a wonderful moment. Suddenly, you're in a very privileged position. You have the illusion that you have taken a secret from nature. That nature lets you peek and look in on something.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Georgia. Happy birthday. How was that? Happy birthday, Mom.
To me, it's just like every day being a miracle, because from the time that she was born, she was so tiny and so fragile. She's like our miracle child, because she had a tough time coming here, and every day it's like winning a battle for her.
Well, from a little over 2 pounds to now she's 19 pounds. Well, she went through a lot of clothes, one thing, and she gets around. She really gets around.
She won't let you ignore her either. Attention she gets, and we'd love to give it to her.